Could you camp here, or even here? Could you answer the call from Sean at the Storytell Now, a man renowned for his extreme behavior, to join him for 3 days of a rain-soaked adventure in camping in British Columbia? When Sean invited me to join him at a few of his favorite waterside camping spots, I knew I could not decline. And when he told me it would be raining the entire time, I knew I'd regret the video it could make if I didn't figure out how in the world I could clear my schedule and get up there. While conditions were far from perfect for camping, I am beyond excited that I made it work and met up with someone we would all love to camp with on his home turf in British Columbia. I'm Justin B. McBride, and this is Local Lander, Episode 4. Local Lander is my weekly adventure series dedicated to off-road camping trips that are within 12 hours of my front door in Salt Lake City, Utah. When I hear overlanding, I think of the people who are traversing Africa or conquering the Pan American Highway while living full-time out of their vehicles. To me, a trip to Moab or the mountains behind my house, it's just not the same thing, so instead, I call myself a local lander. If that resonates with you, this is a great time to hit the subscribe button. Subscribing now helps us get a head start on reaching the goal of 100,000 subscribers by Independence Day of 2024. As it stands, we won't hit that goal by the July deadline and can only make it with your help. Please consider subscribing. With this week's trip being just outside of that 12-hour circle, I'm going to bend my own rules and count this as a Local Lander episode because I'm only there for a few days and Canada doesn't stamp my passport. A trip to British Columbia is only complete after stopping at Epic Adventure Outfitters. Because there is always something to be done to the Jeep, it only made sense to pop in, give them the keys to Winston, and maybe a pneumatic saw so that they could install my new AEV snorkel. Back in Utah, a snorkel is much less needed for water crossings and is a means for cleaning the dusty air before it reaches the engine's airbox. However, you never know when you'll encounter a water line above your comfort level, so I'm having Mike at Epic seal the airbox and snorkel with silicone to make it watertight just in case. With the body of the snorkel mounted, the finishing touch is the Cyclone pre-filter. This pre-filter uses the airflow from the engine intake to spin a rotor, which creates a cyclone inside of the dome, and it pushes large particles to the inner wall, where they are then ejected. Rain, snow, or all of the dust on those long Utah trails clogging the intake filter are now a non-issue. I can't think of a better way to test out how sealed this new snorkel is than to venture into the mountains during an insane rainstorm in British Columbia. So, let's go do that. As we draw closer to the mountains, I'm beginning to realize that I don't know all the details of the plan for this weekend. And I'm starting to feel uneasy and a little unprepared setting out on this trip with nothing but a 4-pack of Red Bull and some yogurt in my fridge. After a couple hours of driving, we pulled off the side of the road to air down, and I got my first real look at the conditions we would be camping in. I know that Utah has a unique beauty and that many of you dream of seeing it in person. I myself tend to take advantage of it sometimes, and I find myself dreaming of these northern rainforests. Finally driving along the trail and being immersed in trails that I've seen from Sean's videos feels surreal. We're only a few minutes into this video and I'm already making plans to go back north. As we're driving along here, I want to let you know that this video doesn't have a brand sponsored segment, but I want to thank my channel members for keeping the channel alive. 2023 was a year of rediscovery for me after ending my relationship with Ford and then picking up Winston, my now 2023 Diesel Gladiator. And things, they got rocky there for a second, but I found my stride again. So, to everyone who stuck with me during the transition, this video is for you. I appreciate you more than you can know. If you are watching this and you have watched the channel for a while, please consider hitting the join button below this video. Every channel member is a key to keeping this channel alive. In 2024, I'm adding a new perk to all of my member tiers. I'm starting a member-only video playlist that will host my in-depth beginner's guide to overlanding. These videos will showcase every minor detail related to planning vehicle builds, the trips I go on, meals, clothes I pack, and everything in between. Rather than releasing this course on a service like Skillshare, I will release at least one video per month here on YouTube, and all topics will be driven by channel member input. The first episode of my new Local Landers Masterclass will be released on January 1st, 2024. The planning for it starts today in my private Discord. If you have a burning question about overlanding, camping, route planning, or whatever else that you think deserves a dedicated video free from bias, sponsors, or brand integrations, hit that join button now before I start recording the first video of the course. Again, thank you to all of my channel members who have stuck with me, and to those of you who are about to join. I look forward to starting this next channel chapter with you. While you're thinking about topics, let's get back to the trail. As we break through the overgrowth, a giant lake appears as if out of nowhere, and our camp spot comes into focus with just one more river to cross before we set up for the night. With camp picked out, first things first, let's get some shelter from this rain. The Rome Adventure Co. awning is super quick to deploy, and with the trucks circled like they are, it gives us a good perimeter for coverage.
Stainless adventure table. Yeah,
anyone bring an axe? I forgot my axe.
No. Do you have an axe? Awesome. Justin has an axe.
Yeah, my only complaint here, because of the surface counter.
This is his.
He was just hazel.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, the idea of being flat is really
And it's stainless, right? Wall still in front of the crossing.
Holy crap, we definitely do not have this in Utah. This is tonight's camp.
I can walk. Yeah, I see it.
It feels really special to camp this close to water. In the US, we try to be a minimum of 100 feet from flowing water, but here in Canada, this seems to be the norm, to chase down really cool spots like this. Right now, I'm about 10 feet from the water's edge, and with rain falling like it is, I'm feeling paranoid about the water level rising through the night. Maybe that's just the Utah man in me, but when it rains in Utah, you don't want to be anywhere near water. Now would you look at that? Sean has a Howl campfire to give us some initial heat today. Even after sending my promotional unit back at Howl's request, my complicated relationship with this expensive unit is still being tested. If you want to help me get a Howl while you're getting one for yourself, they recently added me to their affiliate program. So if you purchase one with my link in the video description, I will make a small commission, and I promise to add that to my Howl piggy bank.
Should have dragged a log over here before we set water on it.
In an attempt to preserve propane on the Howl, Sean has gone scouting for deadfall, and we're using the Howl to help dry out all of the wood that he just keeps dragging back to camp. Some lessons are learned the hard way, and this is one of them that we will continue to learn from throughout the weekend. When it is as wet as this, the Howl is the only way to have a fire. Deadfall and even the store-bought wood that we have is all just too wet to burn out here.
Here, a few more pieces to chop off on that one so I can carry it.
In my last video, which was my gift guide, I got a lot of appropriately placed flack for how I used my hatchet. I want you to know that I have since been educated by the Canadians, and I look forward to implementing this method and keeping all of my fingers attached as they should be.
Yes. It's funny, there's a fire in the background. We're chopping wood. We're chopping wood here.
Whatever, it works. It's explainable.
Oh, come on. Oh, wait.
Even though we have a small fire running, it's going to take us hours to turn it into the bonfire that we are all hoping for and that we expected right off the bat. In fact, it is so wet that Sean's newly modified Starlink from Star Mounts has filled with water. There isn't much that we can do but take it apart and drain it and then toss it in Sean's camper near his diesel heater to dry out.
No, I just
No,
just
the,
go.
the air's not doing anything anymore. Shut the tickets off.
This is usually pretty sealed. There's water all over that.
Do you have a multimeter, Justin? Okay.
And we're back to fighting for a hot campfire. Man, this darn fire, it just will not work. The wood will not catch. even after drying it out near the howl.
Going right to the base.
Yeah,
I'm trying to light toothpicks.
but it's working though.
Yeah.
The wood I got fucking won't burn.
It's not wet.
As this is only the 4th episode of Local Lander, I am still learning and developing my style. A big part of this episode is to slow down and not rush to cut clips too soon. Camping isn't always about an extreme adventure, and I assume most of us look to go out camping, not for the dangerous side, but for the relaxation, seclusion, and proximity to nature.
Oh yeah, I've seen it on. A little bit shaking and shit.
Here's a weird one. I could have sworn that I filmed us making the hot dogs that we had that night, but it looks like I didn't. Maybe I didn't hit record. I'm sorry. I can only assume that you know what it looks like to cook a hot dog, so let's just sprinkle a little imagination into the video here. After much tribulation, we got the fire self-sustaining just as the rain picked up. More points are being awarded to the howl as we can use it under the awning to hide from the rain and stay warm. I swear, every time I'm near one of these, I want one more.
Try it out.
Maybe next is a big ass truck. Sitting there.
It's about time to settle in for the night, and we're trying to direct all of the heat from the fire using Sean's heat reflector back to us under the awning. It's a pretty neat gadget for nights like this. All right, off to bed. Good morning. The rain, it's still falling, but not as heavy as last night. And I think we're all still pretty tired from that cold and wet drive in, so we're taking it slow. The good news is that the river did not rise in the middle of the night like it would have in Utah, and it did not wash me away. I'm still here. I know it's pretty popular for YouTube people to say this line, but I do get asked all the time if I carry my ladder for the camper on trips like this. And I don't, not when I'm alone. It is so much nicer to have one side of the camper as standing space, and I found the ladder just takes up more space when it's easy enough to climb in and out over the tailgate. After yesterday, I think I'm learning. It's time to switch up my coat choice. I have a Patagonia Nano Puff and an Arc'teryx shell that should do the trick to keep me warm and dry because the weather has zero signs of breaking, and I think it's just going to continue to rain, probably forever.
with a very small break in the rain, I just packed everything up. No real time to set up a camera. It's coming down again, so I think it was probably just like a 2 or 3 minute gap of heavy rain. I mean, it still rained, but you know, it wasn't as bad. So I'm just sitting in here, heater seat is on while everybody else is getting their stuff put away. I think they told us that we've got about 100 kilometers today and some more fun stuff to see. I was checking the weather last night, and as long as we continue north, we're gonna leave this really heavy band of rain and weather. And I think that's what we're doing, is heading north.
Okay, let's get back on the trails. I still can't get over how dense these trees are up here. And while the rain may make for miserable camping conditions, the Moody Trails are a spectacle. We were planning to hit a local hot spring, but it was overcrowded and someone was asking $10 a person with a line down the road to get in, so we decided bag that and we skipped it to venture onward. Even aired down, these roads rattle the truck and test every bolt. In some of my shots, you'll see that my front skid plate is missing, and that's because it fell off after the bolts rattled loose. I can swear that I put some blue Loctite on them when I installed it, but you know what? It honestly doesn't matter at this point. The bolts are long gone, and the skid plate is in the truck bed.
According to Onyx Off-Road, we are 67 miles into the trail today. We've been driving for about 4.5 hours. That sound is Casey 250.
Yeah, we had sun just about 5-6 minutes ago, and now it's gone again.
And he's almost here, and the rain is with him.
Yeah, we
So
camped in a rainstorm last night. It pretty much didn't stop all night.
there you go. We're in a holding pattern right now until he shows up, as it starts to rain on us again. We had some just a spot of sunshine and nice weather, and I think that's gone for the rest of the night.
You went left at this fork?
Are you cameraing me?
Yeah, were you cameraing me?
No, I was gonna get Casey rolling up.
Just right here on this as you make the left. Okay, hang on. found this guy.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hi.
You want to back up?
You gotta pay the toll.
Crazy. Well, I think this is the wrong way.
Now that we have KC250 in tow, we make our way down one of the narrowest trails I have been down in the Gladiator. I've never really been one to shy away from narrow trails. The whistle of branches scratching the paint as I explore a less traveled area is more of a badge of honor for me than a fear of it. That said, I don't intentionally run out and scratch my truck, but when it happens, I know that I'm in for a treat.
Got a small tree down. Got the
Anticipation seems to make every trail longer, and it was especially bad hearing Sean and Casey talk about how cool this camp spot would be, but it really wasn't that long before we got to camp and we were setting up our tents again. This spot was much colder than what we had last night, and unfortunately, my diesel heater kept throwing an error code, so I had to investigate that. While I was troubleshooting the heater issues, Sean and Casey fought the good fight like we did last night to get us a wood fire again. As darkness fell, their efforts were ruled unsuccessful. Luckily for me, mine weren't, and my diesel heater was running again. Even though it's dark, it's still too early to go to bed, so we were once again huddled around the howl while all of the wood sat there too wet to burn. As the howl ran low on propane, Paul and Christian packed up and made their way home. The previous night was miserable in the rain, and Christian was just sleeping in a swag on the ground. And tonight, it doesn't look like it'll be anything different, so I do not blame them for chasing their warm, dry beds. And it's time for bed again. With morning upon us, we get our first clear view of the lake. I can't believe this. I can hear Casey flying his drone, so I have to get over there to see what the view really looks like outside of the cover of this tree canopy.
Started drifting.
Is it the controller, maybe? Oh, she's done, dude.
Gimbal's fucked.
It's just gonna say I'm Fubar.
I don't know. Let's see. Take off with caution.
Does it have any image?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks real good.
Yeah.
And that is not how you want to start the morning. After seeing Casey's drone have a mind of its own, I was a little bit leery to put my drone up. But as I was running to snag mine, Sean started flying his. So I decided to be a good friend, let him risk it, and steal his footage. And let me say, it was worth it. Just look at this place. I easily could have stayed here another night, but Sean and Casey swore they had a spot that was just as amazing, but it would be another few hours of driving, so we needed to get packed up again and start rolling. This was my first serious trip with this new diesel heater build, and while I've shown it off a little bit on the channel, I'm currently editing together all of the lessons that I have learned while building it and how I will change it up to be released in a future video. And if that piqued your interest and you haven't yet subscribed, now's a really good time to hit that subscribe button and then the bell so that you can know when that video is live. We're all packed up, and I just want to say one last goodbye to this insane view. I need to come back up here in the summer. A raft and nothing to do sound like the perfect way to spend time here. And once again, we're rolling. The drive out to the main trail was surprisingly quick. Isn't it strange how the drive in always feels like it's just taking forever, and then when you leave, it's over in what feels like a matter of minutes? I still can't wrap my head around these views, and being promised the crown jewel of waterside views tonight has me wondering what in the world could top this. back to pavement, it's time to air up. We all have the Kraken inflation system from Epic. If you're a Jeep owner, this is a must-have for your Jeep build. I've included a link in the video description below alongside some of my other Jeep and Overland essentials that you should probably be running as well. The short story about the Kraken is that it is a mounting bracket designed to work with the ARB twin compressor. The bracket adds 2 easy-to-access air chucks on both the driver and passenger side of your Jeep, so you can inflate all 4 tires simultaneously while it's also balancing the air pressure between them. I have the additional ARB Bluetooth pressure monitor on mine, so I don't even have to babysit it while it runs. It will just auto shut off when the tires hit my desired pressure. With the water leaking issues on Sean's Starlink, it was nice to have a little bit of cell service so that I could FaceTime home and show my wife just how incredible all these views are. There is no rest for the weary. It's time to get on some pavement and put some miles behind us, or kilometers to my friends in Canada, before our next trail. I'm going to spare you the hours of driving and the fuel stops and the replacement propane tank and all of that, but even on pavement, the views here are breathtaking.
That is a good air down system.
We're airing down again, and seeing rain clouds forming is par for the course this week. The wet wouldn't be so bad if these winter days just weren't so short. But knowing that we're moving into a new trail with rain and pitch black conditions just means that the adventure is far from over. This trail is mentally tough to get through. It's dark, it's wet, and I wish I had the route loaded in OnX Off-Road so that I can know how far we are from camp. I really know nothing, and I'm still, quite literally, driving in the dark at this point. It's been a few hours of driving, and I'm at the whim of Sean and Casey. even as I'm told there's light at the end of the tunnel, not literally of course, the torture continues. We pull into what should be our camp spot tonight, and it's just an onslaught of hard rain. And decisions need to be made about how we'll configure the trucks in such a small camp spot.
I may want to as well, and then we can have a campfire over here if we're going to. It's actually kind of windy right here.
Well, I suppose I'm not opposed.
Which is over there. See if it's less shitty. I mean, less crappy. But I don't think it will be.
You want to try to go to the end of the road, or first, I don't know what's down there.
Honestly, it isn't looking good, so we reverse out of this spot and decide to give the dead end at the end of the trail looking at. As we pull into the dead end, it looks like it is now a construction staging area and not at all a good spot to try and camp. As the weather is wearing our spirits thin, we take a few minutes to regroup, calm down, and just talk while we're at that construction staging area to decide what we want to do that night.
But if we go all the way back out, that totally kills our story for a video too. Yeah. If we do camp here, it may be really nice when we wake up in the morning.
Yeah, back on that trail we're just on.
That's the only spot, unless we go up another trail.
All right, it has been decided we will brave the weather for one more night and look forward to the promised views in the morning. We head back to that small camp spot and magically we figure out a way to circle the trucks. Once again, there is no chance that we're having a wood-burning fire. The howl is brought out, and it continues to try and convince me of that $1,300 price tag. By day 3 of this rain, I have to say I'm convinced I would give anything to have heat right now, including $1,300. One huge lesson I have learned from my diesel heater placement is that I can't preheat my tent and use the awning simultaneously. This was a huge mistake in this weather because we could all benefit from that additional coverage of my awning. But I opted to preheat my tent and we all huddled under Sean's awning near the howl for the remainder of the night. Okay, I'm exhausted. Good night. Wow. Do I even need to say anything here? It has been an eventful week from cutting a hole in the truck to the wettest camping I have ever experienced. And all of it has led to this. What an experience.
Finally, the weather has broken. We have blue skies, scattered clouds. It has been 3 very, very long days of just wet camping. I'm so excited. There's a little bit of color popping from the sunrise, something I've wanted to see all week.
As we pack up and get ready to roll out, I want to leave an Easter egg for those of you that made it this far in the video. When you comment below, start your comment with, "Was it even raining?" And I'll know that you made it to the end of the video, and I'll make sure to respond to your comment. Just like the last trail, the drive out was uneventful and quick, although we did see a little bit of snow. Once again, we're stopped to air up, and it's time to say our goodbyes.
This is goodbye.
Just, no, this is see you later.
This is until next time.
Until we meet again.
Right on, man. Thanks for showing me around BC.
Thanks for coming. It's been good.
Yeah, go drive safe, and I'll do the same.
Yeah. Subscribe to this guy.
Yeah, would you?
Yeah.
How many subscribers am I trying to get?
100,000.
Yeah, so just wherever that,
Get this guy to 100,000.
just do it.
Just do it.
All right.
All right.
See you, man. Bye.
I cannot wait to get back up here, and with a 1,000-mile drive ahead of me, I just don't want to leave. But it's time to get home. Thank you for joining me on this adventure. It is always amazing how many people watch my videos, and I am so grateful. Thank you. And thank you for hitting that subscription button so we can hit 100,000 subscribers. I know we can do it. All right, that does it for me. If you liked this video, please like this video. If you have a question, leave me a comment. And if you want to hang out again, well, make sure to subscribe. Until next time, I'm Justin B. McBride. Wow, you did it. You stuck around to the very end of the video. I want to thank all of my channel members whose names are scrolling here. And if you're looking for more adventure, I've loaded another video up here on the screen. It's actually episode 1 of my Local Lander series, so you can watch them all in order. Enjoy. I'll see you in that one.